The Dawntrail benchmark has received both praise but also scathing criticism from a host of players, and Yoshi-P, the producer and director of Final Fantasy XIV, has come out and made an official statement about the fact that there is going to be a brand new benchmark released in the near future with a host of changes, as well as that this is going to actually impact the main game itself, as well as like future changes that are going to directly impact character creation and so much more. With that being said, let's get right into what he has to say. In the opening paragraph, he starts by saying, "Hello everyone, this is Naoki Yoshida, producer and director of Final Fantasy XIV. I would like to thank you all for your feedback regarding the recently released Dawntrail benchmark. While we have received positive feedback and reactions from players, we have also seen others express their concerns. Therefore, I would like to share the current situation regarding these factors." And this is very true. While I and most Rothgars that I've talked to, actually I don't think I've seen a single Rothgar say a single negative thing, there are definitely people who have expressed a lot of frustration. In fact, on YouTube there are videos from people who play like different races saying, hey, this is like really off and looks totally different. He goes into the first point, which is character creation system in the benchmark. Yoshi-P then goes on to say, the character creation system was created over 10 years ago based on the release version of A Realm Reborn. Although it used the same processes as the actual game, certain aspects such as weather were combined to create special conditions exclusive to character creation. This was done to present the texture resolutions and shaders at their best based on the quality standards at the time, which would be 10 years ago, which included the PlayStation 3 version. Furthermore, its light sources take advantage of backlighting, which in this case proved detrimental for showcasing the upcoming graphical update. The character creation environment should have been updated, but was overlooked as we prioritized the development of Dawntrail and tuning the graphical update in the actual game, for which I would like to apologize. We are currently expediting a rework of the environments and light sources of character creation for both the actual game and the benchmark. Once that is complete, the current benchmark will be replaced. The following points are some of the factors that will be resolved by applying the graphical update of the actual game to the character creation system. First of all, A is lifeless eyes due to a lack of highlights in the pupils. B, facial contours appearing flattened due to incorrect lighting conditions caused by backlighting. C, a lack of gloss or excessive appearance of gloss due to character creation exclusive weather conditions, such as the use of thunderclouds. Yoshi-P then goes on to say that the special conditions created for the existing character creation system are largely responsible for the points outlined above. Changing these settings should greatly improve the situation, and I would appreciate if you could bear with us as we work on updating the benchmark. My thoughts on all of this is that I did notice that between trying to make my Rothgar in the character creation system, I actually had to like import my character because I felt like what I was seeing in my own character, like my own Rothgar, was different than what I actually was seeing in game, and that like in the creation system itself that everything felt a little off even for me. And I don't think I've even seen one Rothgar player really bash the system. I think Rothgar, as well as I think Elezen, came out just immaculately, beautifully well. Obviously other races too, but clearly they have this incongruency issue even more prominent. But I can definitely say that when I took my own character data, which if you want to know how I did that, I did a video actually specifically on that, because a lot of people asked, wait, you brought in your Final Fantasy XIV character data and saw it in the benchmark? Yeah, I did. And it looks so good in the game. It looks so good. So even I, as someone who I'd say was on kind of like the better end of things here, even I noticed just a dramatic difference between the character creator and in-game. And obviously because we spend so much time playing Final Fantasy XIV, like by all means, this has kind of become like a complete second world for a lot of us. This has housing, ERP, venues, all these different things. Like Final Fantasy XIV is such a largely, massively encompassing game. How your character looks is like a pretty big deal. You need to relate to that character. You need to have that like connection. And so this all makes total sense, and I'm really glad to hear that it's going to be both the benchmark as well as the game itself getting this update, because that is going to be very important. The second point is issues related to certain data and processes. Based on the wide range of feedback on the official forums and social media, we were able to pinpoint a number of issues in the data and certain processes which manifested due to our need to modify an enormous amount of data. I sincerely apologize for the inconvenience these issues have caused. Naturally, these issues are steadily being addressed as we finalize our development of Dawntrail. However, these issues remained in the benchmark due to simple data-related errors or neglecting to reflect the upcoming changes to the benchmark environment. The following are examples which of issues which fall into this category. A, an issue with unimplemented high-resolution textures, including those for certain playable races. B, an issue pertaining to special data processes. C, an issue with necklines for playable races under certain circumstances. D, an issue with uncorrected scaling for the mouth of certain playable races. The outline issues can be corrected, and I would appreciate it if you could bear with us until they are resolved. Naturally, these issues will be addressed in the release version of Dawntrail. And my kind of commentary to this is going to be brief. Obviously, when you're having a huge graphical update like this, some races will have Ellison necks, some that aren't Ellison, some will not, some will have very large mouths, some will have smaller mouths. It kind of comes with the territory of this kind of update, so this isn't a surprise to me, although I do wonder what special data is. Like, what are they getting at in point B? I have to admit, I'm curious. I actually don't know. Now, for the third and final point, Yoshi-P is talking about correction and replacement of the Dawntrail benchmark. Yoshi-P then goes on to say, in order to resolve the points outlined in point 1 and 2, we are planning for replacement of the benchmark software as we require some time to investigate the issues and reconstruct the benchmark environment. The timing and further details of this replacement will be announced later. We will also continue to make adjustments which will incorporate as much of your feedback as possible into the revision of the benchmark, such as adding a butt slider for male Rothgar, please. I'm joking, he didn't say that, but I'll say that. As well as the release version of Dawntrail. Due to different release dates, however, there are likely to be some differences between the benchmark software and the release version. And then he ends, my apologies for asking you to bear with us as we address the points of concern. The team and I will continue doing our best for the graphical update and Dawntrail's release, and we would appreciate your continued support, Naoki Yoshida. My opinions on this are super simple. I am a software engineer myself. I've been doing it for about 6 years now, and stuff happens. When you're doing a major overhaul of any system, there is so many things that can go wrong. And I think that the developers are taking accountability, as they always have. As I've said this on this channel at least 100 times. The Final Fantasy XIV developers are a blessing. Yoshi-P and the entire development team are such a freaking blessing. And they hold themselves so accountable. And I remember, this was way even before the WoW Exodus that I was saying how much of a blessing they were. I was just like, oh, I've never seen a team like this. So, but when you're doing an update like this, especially with something that is as legacy of a system as this is, like this is a game with so many different moving parts, so many different types of content spanning over a decade. I mean, even if you include 1.0, like well over a decade, of course things are going to go wrong. But what I'm liking is the accountability taken and that they are stating clearly a plan forward. And that is one of the most important things. And okay, I might get on a little bit of a soapbox because people know that I'm hurting because of my like ex-fiance and everything. But like, if you make a mistake, the most important thing, in my opinion, is to take accountability and then make a plan forward. And this is so important in all aspects of life. It's not just game development, but it's just like, okay, we all make mistakes, we all trip and fumble, we all have shit that happens. Life is messy. Life is by its very nature messy. Life will throw a curveball at all of us at different times, and it's up to us to get back on that horse and keep moving. And we will all have ups and downs. We will have moments of triumph, moments of defeat. And really, it's about taking accountability, saying, you know what, something went wrong. That is what it is. And you know what, I'm going to work to make it better. And that level of accountability is such a beautiful thing when I see it. And it just impacts all aspects of life, whether it's at your day job, whether it's like in a personal relationship, like whether it is like game development. Like, this level of communication has always been something that I've really appreciated from our development team. And so seeing Yoshi-P come out and do this, it's what I think is the most professional and meaningful way to players. It's just like, this is also very transparent. The only thing that I'd wonder is like in point 2, it says for B, it says an issue pertaining to special data processes. I don't really get what that means, but like this is like super transparent, super clear. It has a goal and a path forward, and I think that this is like the best way that one can like even approach like this kind of thing. I just think that as always, the development team of Final Fantasy XIV is a class act, and obviously I can't wait to get the new Dawntrail benchmark, although I've already recorded footage that I'm gonna put in, like edit into the background of this channel. My Rothgar looks freaking amazing in the actual benchmark. But yeah, with that, that's all I have to say.